In today's Leeds news, do Aaronson's pressing stats stand up? Leeds winger targets, under 21s lose, and Alan Smith opens up on Leeds United exit. Morning folks, welcome to the Leeds View for Wednesday the 8th of October with your Leeds United news. I hope your week is going well so far. We had a podcast last night with the lads to have a look back at Leeds' defensive statistics so far this season, which will tie in with the Brendan Aaronson piece today, as well as the updates to the Elland Road project. You can check that out if you want to. Also, we're giving away these shirts. They're still giving them away. Embroidered and fully embroidered as well. They're not for sale. If you want to get one, you need to stick a blue heart in the comments down below. Like this video. Also head over to Back4 Clothing on Instagram. Give them a follow and give the post that they put out a like as well. If you want to share this video around as well, that would also help the channel to continue moving forward. Right, let's crack on. Let's start off with Brendan Aaronson's defensive stats, and do they stand up to a bit more scrutiny? Brendan Aaronson has been known for his high energy approach so far this season and has been pretty good so far in the consideration and the context of not having the creative output that Leeds probably need on that right hand side. But a piece today in The Athletic looks at Brendan Aaronson and asks the question if his press and high energy approach is actually helping Leeds United and if it is standing up to some tighter scrutiny. Aaronson's high energy style, as I say, has shown him to chase down defenders, add energy in midfield and disrupt other teams' rhythm and ability to play out from the back, which is liked by quite a lot of managers. Daniel Farke clearly likes it, as well as Pochettino, who's recalled Brendan Aaronson to the USMNT squad. But so far this season, there has been no real output in terms of goals and assists from the now wide man, but you could argue his involvement in Noah Okafor's equaliser against Spurs was very important, and if Dominic Calvert-Lewin could have finished off some of the chances that Aaronson did create for him, Aaronson would probably be sitting here with a goal and maybe a couple of assists to his name so far, but he's not. And Leeds are currently without Willie Gnonto and Dan James on that right hand side, and they failed to get the creative wide man that Daniel Farke wanted towards the back end of the window, leaving Leeds short on that side and Aaronson to fill in for the short term at the very least. Aaronson can only execute the instructions of what he's been asked to do by the manager, and 7 games into the current season, only one attacking midfielder has more defensive actions in the league this season, and that is John Arias at Wolverhampton Wanderers. So far this season, Brendan Aaronson has averaged 8.5 defensive actions per 90, just behind Arias and ahead of Sunderland's Enzo lufc. A defensive action in this category is classified as a tackle, an interception, or a blocked pass. Aaronson's number also suggests a significant contribution to Leeds United's high defensive statistics this season, where Leeds have just conceded a 7.1 non-penalty XG so far this season, a statistic that only Arsenal, Newcastle, Man City and Fulham have better than Leeds so far. If you put XG into goals this season, and if you were to put the league table in order of XG, Leeds would be sitting 5th in the table. Aaronson himself sits 4th in tackles attempted in the league so far this season and 5th in blocked passes. So from one aspect, he is contributing, but not maybe in the avenues that fans would like to see. The question will now be, what does Daniel Farke do if Willie Gnonto is available after the international break? Does he put him straight back in on that right hand side? And what impact will that have on Leeds' defensive stuff? Is Jayden Bogle more exposed without Brendan Aaronson? Does he help the defensive actions that Bogle needs in that side when he is in the team? And all of this will likely be a question for Daniel Farke once the international break is over and when he has more options on that right hand side. We know Daniel Farke likes more defensive minded players in certain areas of the park. We've seen how impactful Noah Okafor can be on the left hand side. Leeds would ideally like to have the same kind of output on the right hand side this season, but as we say, Aaronson can only action what he's been asked to do, and so far this season, from a defensive perspective, his statistics and his work rate is standing up to a little bit more scrutiny at this point. But Leeds will want more creativity, more goals and more assists from those attacking areas if they are to reach their goals this season. Let's move on and talk about Leeds' wide targets coming into January. And a piece in the Yorkshire Post today looks at Leeds' position on Harry Wilson and other wide targets, and Leeds will likely be making moves come January. To clarify Leeds United's club's position on this, because it has caused a little bit of confusion from time over time, Leeds Managing Director Robbie Evans never said that Leeds wouldn't be doing business in January. What he said was that Leeds would like to avoid doing business in January should they get their business done. As we know, Leeds didn't get all of their targets. They missed out on Facundo Buonanotte, then Harry Wilson, and according to reports, also Edouard Spertjan coming into the final hours of the window. You can throw Gus Hamer into that mix as well. But given the issues that Leeds United have on the right hand side right now, Leeds are likely to revisit this come January. With that being said, the Yorkshire Post says that Leeds United still have interest and are still continuing to move forward with plans to try and sign Harry Wilson. But Fulham manager Marco Silva spoke on this a couple of weeks ago, and he is confident that Wilson will sign a new deal at the club, removing any chance Leeds have of getting him in January. But as we sit here right now and as things stand, Wilson has not signed a new deal with Fulham, and Leeds are still said to be keen to bring him in come January. But Leeds United also have other targets that they've been linked with, and according to the Yorkshire Post and Sky Sports, Leeds are still monitoring several other players. Leeds are said to actively be monitoring the Roma attacking midfielder Lorenzo Pellegrini, who has been told that he can move away from the club in January. The attacking midfielder is into the final year of his contract and has told Roma he won't be signing a new deal, and the Roma manager has told him he can move on from the club come January. Pellegrini is also rumoured to be open to a move to England in January, and Farke may want to add an additional number 10 and maybe not necessarily a wide right hand side player at this time. As yet, there's no formal offer on the table for Pellegrini, but he is one name amongst several others, with Zelinski being mentioned, Edouard Spertjan again being mentioned in the last couple of weeks, as well as Brazilian wide man Gustavo Prado in the more recent times. We'll have to wait and see what Leeds do, but if Leeds do decide to make a move, it will be one in and one out likely, given Leeds' history in the January transfer window. The 49ers don't like to make any moves in January, and when they did, it was just a single player, and that was Connor Roberts on a short-term loan at that point. So we'll see what Leeds do, but they've got a full 25-man squad right now. A lot of talk about Illan Melia moving away in January as well. If that happens, then Leeds can replace him easily on the bench or in the squad with another wide player, but we'll see what Leeds decide to do come January. But there's going to be a lot of talk about this. Daniel Farke will be asked an awful lot more about this the closer we get to that. It's in October now. We've 3 months before we get to that stage, and a lot of football to be played between now and then. We'll see where Leeds are at that point in the window. Let's move on and talk about the under-21s result last night. And Leeds under-21s suffered another defeat in the Virtue Trophy last night, highlighting again the difference between EPL under-21 football and senior men's football. Leeds conceded in the first 3 minutes last night against Fleetwood Town, and despite some brave football and play by the young Leeds United sides, physicality and experience ran out as the winner last night. Leeds eventually went down 4-0 away to Fleetwood in the Cup, but again, as has been said about this competition, Leeds will likely learn an awful lot from this. The Virtue Trophy has given Leeds under-21s an opportunity to experience senior football as a group rather than going out on individual loans, and they will definitely benefit from these experiences in the longer term. The short term, they'll have to just be able to sit back and deal with these defeats that have come in this competition so far this year. On the plus side, Leeds did get a chance to welcome back Sam Chambers, who has been absent recently with a longer term injury, but we're missing several players. Rory Mahadi is away on international duty with Scotland, and Harry Gray is out injured with a hip flexor, and Johnny Howson can't be registered for this competition as he's a senior player, and Leeds haven't registered him as a senior player this year. Also point out, Harry Gray turned 17 years of age today, so we're likely to hear some news on his new contract very, very soon from the club. So unlucky to under-21s. They'll go back into EPL 2 action next week, and we'll wish them the best of luck, and we continue to cover their games over on bigup.com if you want to get watch-alongs and join us for those ones. Let's move on and talk about the main story of today, and it's Alan Smith opening up on his Leeds United exit. One of the most controversial sales, moves and decisions from Leeds past was Alan Smith move to hated and heated rival Manchester United, and as for the most part, Smith has remained silent on this topic, especially since his retirement from the game. And Joe Donoghue in 442 magazine has had a sit down with Smith to discuss his exit, and for those who don't know about this situation, I'll give you the brief. Alan Smith came through the Leeds United Academy, was a local lad, a fan, and very much one of our own. So the decision for him to move to Manchester United hurt fans a little bit more than most and cut just a little bit deeper. As Leeds were relegated from the Premier League, a fire sale took place after Peter Ridsdale's financial mismanagement of the club, a claim that he to this day still denies. And Smith captained Leeds on that final day, kissed the badge and cried with fans, and then, to everyone's surprise, turned up at Old Trafford in a Manchester United shirt. Speaking to Donoghue, Alan Smith has finally opened up on what happened and topic and has said the following. I offered to play for Leeds United for free. I said I'd go abroad. I'd do anything to help. But the club told me that Manchester United were the only ones willing to pay cash up front and they needed the money to survive. The move not only shocked the Leeds United fans, but also shocked then Manchester United manager Alex Ferguson, who told Smith that he couldn't believe that Leeds had agreed to sell him to them of all clubs. And he said this. He said to me, I can't believe that they're selling you to us, but Leeds needed the money. I didn't have a say. I still watch Leeds to this day every week. I still care and I still feel part of it. Smith did eventually return to Elland Road as part of the England squad, and on the night in Elland Road was booed heavily by the local fans, something that Smith says to this day has stayed with him. And he said this. That hurt more than anything. I done what the club asked and I was hated for it. I didn't leave for glory, I left because the club needed me to. I took the hit so the club could survive. Smith does express a desire to return to Elland Road in the future, and it's been a very long time since he's attended a match at Elland Road, but he would like to reconnect with the club, and in this piece he does say that he would like to reconnect with the club, but admits that it will be very difficult given the backlash that he received following his exit from the club. But he does hope one day to walk back through the gates of Elland Road and be welcomed back at the club. But he's still a very divisive figure and it's still a very divisive topic still to this day. But you'd wonder, is over time have things softened a little bit? He went on to have a career in League One and in the Championship with MK Dons, as well as a bit of a coaching career as well with academy sides. So it'd be interesting to see what people think about Alan Smith at this moment in time, after a lot of water has gone under the bridge and the dust has settled on this topic. But let me know down below in the comment section what you think about this. Would you welcome Alan Smith back to Elland Road as a fan to watch his boyhood club play football again, or was that move just one move too many for Leeds at that time, and has it stuck with you till this day? But let me know down below what you think about this. Outside of that, folks, you can check out last night's podcast. You can vote for us in the Football Content Awards if you want it, linked down below. And you can enter the competition to win one of these shirts that we're giving away in 2 weeks' time. Outside of that, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll be back tomorrow morning for more Leeds news. See you then. Bye.